No, maybe it's not happening yet. We'll just lean back in the squeaky chair, slap some dog butt, and is it happening? And there it goes. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's a little Wednesday evening show. We'll go for about an hour, and then I'm supposed to meet my mother for dinner. So, how's everyone doing? You know, everything's just kind of while dumb stuff keeps going on around us. 60% of counties across America have experienced a price drop in housing, which is an all-time record. So those folks who think that housing won't have a drop like we had in 08-09, it's happening right now. On top of that, taco strikes again. Trump always chickens out is the slogan, and he chickened out. Iran called his bluff, and he went, ah! And caved. So basically, we bombed Iran. It accomplished nothing. We did not destroy any of the things we sought to destroy. And instead, what happened was Iran was able to move all their materials because Trump waffled for so long while announcing his plans that they went, oh, I guess we'll just move our materials from that place and hide them. And then they did. And then Iran's like, we're going to close the Straits of Hormuz, which is where a majority of the oil traffic travels through. So if all the oil tankers get blown up, world shuts down, and Trump went, ah! And he blinked. He then went to China. It's like, China, please help us convince Iran to open the Straits of Hormuz. And China said, sure, if we get something for it. And the get something for it was, you can buy as much Iranian oil as you want and not face any tariffs. Because not too long ago, Trump announced if you buy oil from Iran or Venezuela, you're going to be facing 300% tariffs across the board for what you export. And now China gets to buy as much Iranian oil as they want. Not only that, but China can now purchase all that oil in Iranian currency, in Ramdanis, or however you call it. Which eliminates the need for the US petrodollar, which destroys the US dollar yet again. So, we're tacoing away here. In the meantime, Trump is also threatening sanctions and tariffs against Spain, an ally, trading partner, and fellow democracy, Western democracy, because Spain canceled some orders for U.S. weapons. Why did Spain cancel some orders for U.S. weapons? Because of the arbitrary tariffs being slapped on Spain. Like, you know what? Fine, we won't buy stuff from you. And Trump's like, how dare you not buy stuff from us? And basically, we're just pissing off everyone. How to alienate, how to lose friends and alienate people, I think is the book that Trump read. So, now that we are winnowing down friends across the world and making horrible deals with totalitarian dictatorships, now what for U.S. trade? Well, U.S. trade is down significantly. The world is not buying what we have to sell. We're not buying our products, not buying our agriculture. But we still have to import things en masse from overseas because we don't have the industrial capacity to make these things ourselves. And as a result, the trade deficit, something that Trump does not understand, but for some reason hates, is now the highest it has ever been by a lot. Like normally there's you know, we sell stuff and we buy stuff. And right now, we're not selling any stuff, and we're buying just as much stuff as we were before. So U.S. capacity for production is plummeting incredibly fast. This is after, during the Biden administration, manufacturing grew at the fastest rate it had since the end of World War II. So basically, they took the good things are happening and just lit a fuse and blew it all up. And now they're all like, we're so mad that we pissed everyone off. We're going to piss them off even more. Because that's what dumbasses do who can't make any friends. So here we are. But you know what the market's like? We don't care. Blah, 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 blah. So I think the market is in facade mode, trying to get all the retail investors amped up. Like, hey, the market's not that bad. Maybe I'll invest in some Fortune 500 companies and in the SPY. And then come July 9th, around there, when the tariffs all get slapped back on, they're going to rug pull everybody. And then that's going to be that. So, what do you think, Monkey? What do you think? Monkey gets Monkey gets chemo tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be back from that in time to do a show. It's in the afternoon, so we'll see. Hopefully I get back in time. We can do a show. So keep that in mind. She gets her chemo number 5. She got one more to go after this. Then hopefully that's that. It will have basically maxed out everything that was raised from her GoFundMe, which I'm so grateful for. After this next chemo, we'll be at $19,000 total for treatment. So, yeah, buddy. And you hopefully have the all clear, huh? Right? Yeah. We'll get a burger or something tomorrow for you. That should cheer you up and make your farts even worse. So I think I got to click on one of these. Oops, did I click on it? Click on it. There we go. Oh, I forgot. Boom. There we go. Okay, I think that's all up. Ooh, turn off the intro, ding dong. Whoop. All right, Kelly Reed first. Woo! Kelly Reed says, happy birthday, HW. The Gist has John Perkins on talking about the Economic Hitman, which you've been saying since day one should be a good listen. I need to get John on here. I talked to him like a year ago. He's like, oh, I'm going to Burma or something, and for a month. Talk to me after, and I just forgot to get back to him. So congratulations on the Gist for grabbing John Perkins, friend and neighbor. That should be a good listen. I'll get him on here at some point, I promise. Can I read? Also like the message I sent you on Instagram. Thanks for educating all of us through these crazy times. Hard to keep up. Wouldn't know what's going on without the hive mind. It's a lot to take in. The show is late today because I spent time with my aunt and I didn't have a chance to read any of the news today. So it took me like a few hours to get caught up. It's just so much information that has to get consumed, and there's no way I would ferret it all out and find it all myself if it wasn't for the hive mind. Those hundreds of messages I get from you folks every day are probably one of the greatest resources that I have for collecting information. Because if I have to go find it myself, I'm just, I try to curate my social media feed so that this information comes to me. But, having all of you go, oh, that's interesting, send it to Houston. And then I all of a sudden can now absorb the information through the holes in my head and pass it along. So thank you all. Oh my God, dude with nub. Dang, too slow. You were slow poking. Copy Pasta's got himself a taco. Dustin Heights got a whale, or a laughing whale, or something like that. BBY update. I think they're still fighting over petty little lawsuits. There was a hearing today. In it was some lease from a store in California, but the landlord never filed until it was too late. So I think that all just kind of got tossed. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the big ones to drop, which is an announcement from DK Butterfly or an announcement from the 16B trial or something. Or announcement that Class 6 is finally getting paid. That's where we're waiting. Until that happens. Deb Bass, any update in Charity's situation? No update yet. I was told I would get contacted by a YouTube engineer today. I did not, so I need to write them again to find out what's happening. Because so far, nothing. The help desk person I talked to was like, "This is a really weird policy. I don't understand why it exists." Basically, you'd think that we'd want more people to do charity stuff. Because they get tax write-offs by doing it. And I mean, for them, it actually benefits them because, what I make off a single show is minuscule. Like I am not a rich YouTuber. I get, if I'm lucky, I get like $30, $40 in super chats, and YouTube gets 30% of that. So they'll get like $10, and then they get advertising revenue, which I get maybe a penny of for each eyeball viewed, and they get the vast majority of. But Charity Tuesday, we raise over $1,000, sometimes as much as $8,000 or more, and that is a tax write-off. They can say, hey, we raised $8,000 through our YouTube company, give us a tax break of $8,000, and that's what they get. So it probably makes them more money from my particular channel in the long run by me doing charity shows once a month than doing 20 shows the rest of the month. So, yeah. Also, Dead Bass, I got sunstones back from being fasted in Thailand. Fun experience finding gemstones. Would recommend it. Excellent. Did you get any good ones that have like the little copper inclusions in them? Those are the best. You guys ever seen those? Let's see if we can pull up. Images. Here we go. So these guys. Oops, that's not it. I need to do that. Done. So you get the, so in this really nice Oregon sunstones, like the ones that are worth a lot, you get these little copper inclusions, and that's the badass stuff. Let's see here if we got. Here's some inclusions in these two stones, these two trapezoidal, or sorry, triangle, tri-cut stones. You can get like little copper flakes like these guys, and when they get cut, oh man, they're so pretty. So hopefully you got some of those. Those are awesome. They can also do streaky stuff like this, little streaky streaks in there. These are like really high end ones. Here's a big cabochon with the copper inside of them. They're pretty. I recommend it if you make your way to Oregon and out there in the outback, go check it out. David, IJWT, hola. Ryan Perales, just living life. Man. The man. 12th. Eugene, happy birthday, Houston. Jason Blackwell, Houston. Don't worry about your phone spying on you. You should really worry about your vacuum. It's been collecting your dirt for years. That one hurts. Brandon Wells, up. How much time do you think I have to sell off No Labs? I'm debating. I'll probably will end up this week selling off my No Labs. If they're going to dilute as much as they plan on, I'll probably sell and buy back in afterwards. Because you can sell for a few bucks now and buy back in at 33 cents, 40 cents, 15 cents, somewhere in there. Because it sounds like they're going to dilute a lot. And they're going to dilute so much that they'll get hammered down, and then they'll have to do a reverse split and come back in again. That's my feeling what they're going to have to do in order to survive this. I personally would have talked to Gary and his $100 million Bitcoin investment and would have made the sale price of the stock like, hey, if you bring the Bitcoin in, we'll do the stock at $8 a share, $10 a share, something like that, and you'll get that many shares. The float doesn't increase that much, and it makes it really hard for them to hammer it down. But because the trade price was 33 cents a share, and now they got to sell a whole bunch of shares just to even out Gary's ownership, I think that hurts a lot more. So, just need the FDA approval. Just file the application already. There's no one left at the FDA. This is going to rubber stamp it because no one's left to study any of these things. So just get it done. That's what I say. Anonymous went to New York City on vacation and came back to spy at all-time highs. What the hell? Indeed. The SPY is stupid right now. Let's look at the SPY. Let's go SPY price. SPY hit above 608 today. Absolutely stupid. Like 608.47 was the high today, and it's floating around 607 right now, which to me, remember back in March, April, it bottomed out at what, 484 when things were like, oh, world's ending because all these tariffs. We will be doing that again because Trump is not a very creative person, so he will be hurting the SPY all over again by throwing tariffs at stuff to supposedly try to negotiate trade deals that haven't happened. Remember, it's supposed to be 180 trade deals in 90 days, and we have zero. Not a single trade deal. The closest we have is we have a framework for a trade deal with the UK, which basically gives UK everything they want, and we get nothing. And then there's a framework for a temporary deal in order to negotiate with China, which takes away all the tariffs that basically China imposes, and then we have to pay a whole bunch of stuff on tariffs to import stuff from China, which costs us an arm and a leg. But that's it. That's it. When Besant was in front of Congress, they asked him about countries. If a country was completely willing to do away with all tariffs whatsoever, like Vietnam, would that mean we take the tariffs off? And he's like, no. So there's no point in having a negotiation with the Trump administration at this point, because why would you do anything if they aren't going to take the tariffs off? So I've got my little nest egg I'm going to throw at spy puts coming up in July. Just like if things really start to drop big, 20, 40, 60, 80 points, and you start to see Trump say something like, it's a great time to invest in the market. Sell all your puts. So I'm going to do sell my puts, and I will buy calls. Because Trump will make some sort of flim-flammy announcement. We'll be like, oh, guess what? I'm going to pause tariffs for another month. And then the market go, woohoo, and fly up 20, 30 bucks. So I think there's cash to be made based off of Taco Trump. So he's gonna chicken out. That's what he does. He hates being called a chicken, but it's what he does. So I guess he is what he eats or something. Okay. Moth, Trump was elected to destroy America. Can't tell me otherwise at this point. I mean, if you were to design a machine to destroy America, it would turn out like Trump. So either we got here through evolution or we got here through unintelligent design, I guess, at this point. But yeah, that seems to be exactly what he's doing. MS says, hey, happy hump day. Vernock, so no Nobel for Trump. I think it's hilarious. Apparently, the nation of Pakistan nominated Donald Trump for a peace prize for negotiating peace between Pakistan and India, which A, he didn't do at all. B, nothing's been negotiated. There's no peace plan in place at all between the two. And C, they did specifically just to massage his ego so that he would like them more. That's it. It doesn't take much. It's probably the cheapest ego stroke you could possibly give Donald Trump is just nominate him for the Peace Prize and then announce to him that you did so, and he'll go, nice, right? A lot cheaper than what like UAE is doing by buying $2 billion in Trump coins in order to get restricted computer chips from the United States of America, which then they pass on to the Chinese because the Chinese aren't supposed to have them. And the companies that are based out of the UAE are the ones that have these crazy deals with NVIDIA. There's which one was it that's owned by the Irish mafia who run the cocaine trade in Europe? Nobody Special did a whole episode on them. I can't remember the particular name of the company, but they're one of the companies that got the huge loan from NVIDIA to buy NVIDIA chips and then use those chips as collateral to buy more NVIDIA chips and use those chips as collateral to buy more NVIDIA chips. And they're basically laundering their cocaine money from Europe through tax-free through the UAE and stockpiling these chips. And then most likely on the side are selling these chips illegally to China. Yeah, just. But hey, if you buy $2 billion in Trump coins, you can do whatever, you can skirt whatever you want. So foreign influence is A-okay in this book. Boink. Vernock. Oh, that's wrong. Bex, hey, you said happy birthday. I just feel overdue. And to just what to have a question. What? I don't understand that, but you feel how you feel. Wrong conclusion. Can you explain why three-body problem physics is or hasn't been solved? Basically because the math is too hard. If you know three-body problems, the famous Chinese sci-fi series. They made the first season on Netflix about it. And basically you have multiple objects orbiting each other through a center of gravity. The center of gravity can actually change over time depending on how far away one is from the other, right? And this has to do with the distance they are apart, right? And if they're really far away, a planet or a moon can orbit them just fine because the main center of gravity, the sphere of influence, is around that one star. But if the stars get close to each other, that they can shed material or shed planets from each other, then things start to get super crazy. It's kind of like a macro case of superposition of electrons. If you've ever taken quantum mechanics, you go through these psi dot psi equations, which honestly I don't even remember. I just remember psi dot psi and doing these integrals, and then you'd figure out possibly where an electron could be inside of a hydrogen atom. And then you discover that we can guess where a hydrogen atom, or an electron might be inside of a hydrogen atom, which is just a proton and an electron. That's it. That's all it is, these two problems. But if you get up to the point where you have a helium atom, which has 2 protons, 2 electrons, all of a sudden you cannot guess where anything is. The math is basically impossible, and we have no working equation for it. So we can kind of figure out, when you get 2 objects, where the electron is in relation to the proton. If we try to look at it, we change the outcome. But we can kind of mathematically have a good guesstimate as to where electrons should be at any point. When we get beyond that, the math just becomes too complicated, and we just can't figure it out. So the idea of the three-body problem is there's this planet that when it's too close to one of the suns, dries up and everything dies. But there are periods when it's far away from the suns that it can have like life can flourish again. And so what they can't figure out is how long these good periods will last. So they're trying to figure this out and solve the three-body problem, try to figure out how long a period of life is going to begin before it all dries up by getting too close, because it's passing from one sun to another in these systems while doing these orbital periods. And it's just that we can't figure out how to stabilize a center of gravity for those 3 objects that are similar in mass versus a planet that isn't trapped by one of those stars. I don't know if I'm even describing that, how close that is. But yeah, it's a bitch because it's in 3-dimensional space, right? They aren't just in one plane doing this. They are all over the place, orbiting at different rates. And you can look at like a globular cluster and just see how confusing it is. Globular cluster could be hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of stars all orbiting one center location. And if you're a little planet in there, you have no hope. So yeah, that was kind of a terrible explanation. It's hard because it's hard. That's why it's hard. Yeah. So if you figured it out, you probably win a Nobel. That's cool, right? Boris Raspy, Houston. I'm going to Japan December. Any fun things to do? Also, I'm going with 4 people total. Recommended any hotels? And when will you sell your Gme shares? I want to so bad already. I mean, my shares will stay probably forever unless the price gets really crooked. Which is why I'm hoping for an options run at some point again. I wish I could have a redo of last year's so that, well, hindsight is 2020. I'm a bad person for things in Japan because I was last in Japan when I was 8 years old. So there's lots of fun 8-year-old things I can think of in Okinawa. I'll have to ask my little sister who lived there more recently what to do. Basically, eat everywhere, eat anything, eat. Don't stop eating. If you're going to Tokyo, that's where you're gonna have like the most kind of cool modern things to do. They've got like game centers where for 1,000 yen you can play all night long, kind of like Dave and Buster's, and they've got video games, trampolines, ping pong, ice hockey, all in like one giant warehouse building. They've got on the street go-kart racing. They've got amusement parks. You can hike to tea rooms up on Mount Fuji. You can, I don't know, get a car and go drifting on mountain roads or something. Go to some baths and hang out with some monkeys and drink tea and get naked. Go to the beach. The beach will be empty. Japanese people don't go to the beach, so you can have the beach all to yourself. Monkey butt. In your vast experience in going to Japan, what did you find the most fun? Huh? Robots? I don't know. Build a robot. Go buy a robot. Do robot stuff. So, there you go. There's my terrible idea of what to do in Japan. I'd like to go back someday. I'd like to go back to Okinawa just to see how much has changed. Because I still have a memory. Like, I know how to get from where we lived to, like, karate dojo, to the military base where my dad did most of his work, to his office building, to like Naha, Okinawa City, because I was obsessed with patches. So like going to the Army surplus store and buying patches. So I had like a jacket that just covered in all sorts of different patches, and that was kind of my little nerd hobby, 8 years old. So I collected those like crazy. Also liked going to fast food restaurants in Japan, especially A&W, because A&W had like kick-ass play structures in Japan. There's also like lots of little arcades that were really fun. There's one right by my house. So my dad gave me like 1,000 yen. Like, here's 1,000 yen. Back then it was like, I don't know, probably $5, $8, something like that. And I would take my 1,000 yen and I'd go to the McDonald's. I get a Happy Meal, which would cost basically like $2, or probably, I don't know, a couple hundred yen. And then next door was an arcade, and everything was in Japanese. I had no idea what anything meant, but I'd take my remaining yen and I would go to this Space Invaders machine thing, and it was like a full-on spaceship with a joystick and a screen, and it would like move around and on like these big actuators. And because I didn't understand anything in Japanese, I would lose all my money very quickly, but I had the time of my life while doing it because I was like inside of a fighter jet. It was cool. And then that McDonald's next door, I mean, we're there, so it was like 2.5, 3 months that we were there, and there were 3 songs. They did like music videos playing on TV, and it was 3 songs. It was Cold November Rain by Guns N' Roses. It was also Guns N' Roses' Paradise City, but it was like a weird music video where it was like these like surfers running down the beach to Paradise City and like jumping off like surfboards and flying off waves. And then the third song was some Japanese guy singing, like doing karaoke in front of like 10,000 people at a stadium of some song I never heard of in my entire life. And it would repeat those 3 songs over and over and over the entire summer I was there. And by the end of the summer, the people like taking my order were like, because they just listen to the same 3 songs on a loop for hours a day, every day. It was insane. I can't imagine. It must have been like some sort of psychological experiment to just see what minimum wage workers in Japan are willing to endure. It was insane. Where am I? Lisa Sa. I thought the rich Bitcoin investor was saying was saving no labs and killing off the shorts. Why do they need to issue so many more shares? Because basically you'd have 300 million shares versus like the 4 million everyone else has. which to me seems like a great way to squeeze. But I don't know, because they're going to issue another 300 million shares on top of that and raise $100 million cash, something like that. Yeah, I don't know, Lisa. I wasn't really consulted in it, and I'd recommended doing something crypto-wise when I talked to Ron last, but I don't think I was able to finish my entire thought on that. Oh well. Don't see Shadem. I'm dumb. YOLO'd into USO on Friday. USO? Like... United States Oil Fund. 5 days. Oh, shit. Yeah. This is 83 and drop down to 70. And there may be a chance it'll go up again if this stuff floobles. But it's going to take the Israelis probably messing up everything to get that to happen. But I think the Israelis are realizing that Iran has tens of thousands more ballistic missiles than what they thought. And now Israel's like, pause. I think they thought, oh, a couple hundred will hit us and, you know, we'll shoot some of them out of the sky and we'll deal with it. But if it's like 28,000 more ballistic missiles than what they had estimated, then it's kind of like leveling cities across Israel. And that won't play very well if you kill off all of your population and destroy all your buildings. So, yeah. Yeah, U.S. oil went from 83 down to 73 right now. Yeah, that's a bummer, dude. It happens. I mean, the other day on MSNBC, they were like, why the hell is the market doing well and why is oil crashing? Like, none of this makes any sense right now. Up is down, as black as white, I guess. Michael, hate. Can you show me where the Strait of Hormuz, show me where the Strait of Hormuz was closed at any time during this war, or any articles saying ships were getting blown up? Thanks. Ships were not getting blown up, but they had been turning around. So if I pulls up here, boom, Google Earth. Google Earth is 20 years old now. Holy cow! So Strait of Hormuz is this little hooky do that goes around Oman, UAE. It's a very narrow strip. Very easy for things to get shelled from the Iranian mainland and close stuff off. The only damage I know that happened was supposedly 3 ships all collided with each other and caught a big giant oil tanker on fire somewhere about Yay. But when Iran said they were going to close off the straits, a whole bunch of oil tankers, if you're watching ship tracking, just turned around and started heading back the other way. And just anchored out further or just waited. So that's basically just a threat from Iran that they were going to close off the strait. And that was enough for insurance on ships to basically double. And those shipments essentially becoming uninsurable, which means they weren't going to happen. No ship is going to take that risk without insurance, especially. And no shipper is going to pay over a certain amount for the insurance, so that's just not going to happen. And that was enough for Trump to chicken out. Him to go, oh, you win, and negotiate a deal with China to placate Iran so Iran would keep the strait open. That's it. That's all there is to it. Hopeful Pomelo 488 Piccolo. NVIDIA round-tripping a series of transactions designed to create misleading impression of the company's financial health rather than generating actual economic benefit. Ding ding! Exactly what Enron was doing. Dead Bass says, all clear stones average 1.5 to 2 carats for the few I sent in. How much did you get back? If you sent in about 2 carats, you should probably get about a carat back out of that. Usually about a 50% loss from faceting. Because depending on the shape of the stone, right? You look at the stone and you go, okay, I want to make a round one out of this. You got to shave off that to do that. So, King Ding Dong got 2 more interviews in the next week. Anyone else got any wins this week? Uh, yeah, let's share the wins. I'd love to see them. Because everything else is kind of, I'm just in I'm in a thumb twiddling stage. I haven't pulled the trigger on any investments in a couple of weeks. So just waiting. I'm waiting for the tariffs to get slapped back on, I think, before I start doing anything. I have a feeling that whatever T35 comes along for GME might see a little puny pop. If anyone knows when T35 hits from that run up we had back in May, I'd love to hear it. See what you got. Debetra also picked up a couple GME 22 calls for January 27th because I haven't learned my lesson. It'll shoot past that between now and then. I mean, we're already past that now, but we'll probably have a run at some point. They'll make that thing triple in value. Ding Ding Dong. One is for biomedical equipment technician 1. Okay. So you'll be fixing biomedical equipment? That sounds fun. Dick Dug Doink, he said globular. Oh, yeah. You point telescope in the right spot in the sky, you get some globular right in the eye. Rupert Trooper, Houston. What do you think of Quantum and GNS? Apparently, these stocks have lawsuits for naked shorts and are looking to squeeze since derivatives aren't tradable for them. I mean, I don't know much about Quantum. GNS was a big giant dud a couple of years ago. Their CEO was all over. He was being interviewed by everyone. He's going on the shows talking about how he's going to fight him and do all these things and offer these little dividends and nothing. It just kind of fizzled. Nothing big came out of it. So maybe a lawsuit might help. But I think GNS, didn't they get like delisted or something and ended up OTC, if I remember correctly. Yeah, after all the big talk from the CEO, it just kind of fizzled. And I think there's one of those companies that hired Wes Christian but then couldn't pay him, so nothing ever happened with him. Unless this lawsuit is with him now. I don't know. The lawsuits are all well and good. I think every company being shorted should probably take these dudes to court. They should also truly and actively do checkmates in order to corner these companies and take cash and lobby Congress to pass laws against naked short selling. Just see what South Korea is doing naked short selling and make it even worse. Like, you get caught naked short selling, I don't know, fire you out of a cannon or something. Make it a capital crime to naked short sale. Make white collar crime so violently awful in punishment that people wouldn't even chance doing it. I'd rather have white collar criminals be drawn and quartered than punish some poor person for stealing a loaf of bread or a slice of pizza in desperation. Because rich folks don't need to be desperate. They're rich already. So if they're doing crimes while being rich, that shows a level of like sociopathy and antisocial disorder of some kind that they are a threat to society at all levels. So don't let their wealth insulate them from the impact they have on society with their crimes. Like, there's some crazy stats out there about how wage theft is greater than all loss from employees. So employees like stealing from their company is nothing compared to wage theft from one of the largest white collar crimes in the entire world, one of the largest crimes in general. That adverse possession by police officers, stealing money during a traffic stop from you, is more than all the burglaries in the United States combined. So like all of the petty theft is smaller than the amount cops steal from people during traffic stops. Perhaps, maybe, if someday we do something about this, we make, large-scale crimes against the people treated at the level they should be. Because right now we've got the SEC slapping fines on companies that are equivalent of 1% of what they stole. And the company goes, oh, shoot, I guess I'm never going to pay that. What are you going to do about it? And the SEC's like, nothing. So, anywho, good luck with the Quantum GNS. And you are a toot machine today. I haven't even given you your... Is this just in practice and waiting for your chemo tomorrow? Because, dude. I can't... Man, she's a pooter today. Did they feed you some tacos at Taco Tuesday last night? Is that what this is about? Did you get tacos? My God, dog. Okay. Captain Jimmy Wilder. Hey, Houston. Wish me luck. Sold all my no labs today. Started to see the writing on the wall and can't be hurt by another reverse split. Calling back to Jimmy tomorrow. Hope she takes me back. I'm probably doing that as well. I'll probably get out until this sale is done and they do the inevitable reverse split. And then hopefully by then it will be filing for FDA application time. Shadowfire, Zoran Mamdani won. Yeah, Mamdani won the primary for New York mayor. Got outspent by about $30 million by Cuomo. And Cuomo, yeah, the sex pest Cuomo is gone. A Democratic socialist running New York City, promising free bus rides and building city-owned grocery stores because other grocers weren't willing to put their stores in spots around the city, I think is going to be an interesting experiment. There's all sorts of like crazy, like, if you're a Jew, you're dead, he's going to kill you. Believe me, a Democratic socialist does not care about religion. They don't care if you're Jewish. They don't care if you're Muslim. They do not care about your religion because they are a-religious. They don't care. His name might be Zoran Mamdani, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all about your religion. He doesn't care if you're Jewish. He doesn't care if you're Muslim. Doesn't care if you're Christian. All he wants is effective government services for the people. That he wants the tax dollars that are raised by the city to benefit the people of the city. And if I were an NYPD person, I'd be pretty pissed because he's probably going to make buses free. He's probably going to limit NYPD's job patrolling for fare jumpers in the subways, instead focus on solving crimes and stuff. It'll be an interesting experiment to see what happens. I'm sure the NYPD will probably get the blue flu and stop doing anything, and I'm just like a huff and puff. But that's what they do anyway. Doug Kitch, I got screwed by No Labs once. Seems like I'm getting screwed again. What happened to doing the right by the shareholders? I've lost less at casinos. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't want to go through another reverse split. I hate reverse splits. I wish companies would never do them. Instead of doing a reverse split, I don't know, buy up your entire float since it's pennies on the dollar. Like, do something like that. Just get the tech to the market. That's all I have to do. Just get the tech to the market. Just get the tech to the market. Start selling things. See revenue growth. Done. That's all I have to do. And to get the tech to market, file for FDA approval. Right now, I don't think there's anybody at the FDA to give approval, so you'll probably get some like 21-year-old with a communications major who'll just go, stamp, done. Ta-da! You're now approved. You now sell your equipment, and insurance companies will pay for it, and you're making money. Shadowfire, Economic Hitman is a valuable book to read. It is a very informative and valuable book. I highly recommend it. I recommend the most recent version too, because he talks about the Belt and Road Initiative by China and how it is, in effect, economic hitmen. It's just Chinese economic hitmen doing it. Sold out. Wait, when did they announce a share dilution? This week, they talked about a share dilution of up to 750 million shares being total shares outstanding due to Gary Kidd getting 300 and something million of them for his $100 million Bitcoin investment. So yeah. Another Moth says oil dumped because they shorted out of existence. Seems like a weird time to short oil, doesn't it? while like Middle East problems are ramping up like nobody's business. Very interesting. Oh shoot, off the grid hero. Sorry, I didn't see your little super chat there. When do you think is the next bull run crypto stock? Probably now. Crypto dumped pretty hard Sunday night, and then bounced right back. It dropped. Bitcoin dropped below 100,000 on Sunday night. It bounced right back again. My guess is between now and when the tariffs get slapped back on, is the bull run. This is the bull run right now. If the tariffs all of a sudden are slapped back on the 9th, I expect dumping. Just dumping of everything. Dumping of retail, dumping of U.S. manufacturers, dumping of just dumping. And that dumping will include crypto as well. And then it will all reverse because Trump will go, oh, just kidding. And I'll go, wee, right back up again. And we'll be right back into this like abusive, I'm sorry, baby, I didn't mean that. Just sometimes I get so angry type excuses. At least I saw. Do no lab shareholders get to vote for or against issuing of more shares, or the extraordinary meeting on the 24th of July is just rubber stamping? It's going to be rubber stamping because Gary controls the company now with his $100 million investment. So he's going to own 96% of the shares, something like that. 97% of the shares until there's a dilution. And even then, he'll probably be at over 50%. If that's the case. So no, we won't get a say in it at all. I'm not a cat. Houston. Jamie and Rocky have been calling LPSN a live person for some time now, and today it had a break. I did it. Where's my that one? LPSN. Oh yeah, there we go. All right, oops, you're still on that. We do this. Go there. There we go. Okay. I jumped. So it went from what, 70? Oh, sorry. 74 by close was at 84 and is now touching $1 after hours. Or $1 exactly after hours. Interesting. That's a good climb right there. So in the last 6 months, we had ourselves a slow death. Bottom out where 73 cents was the low. 68 cents low. 1 year. So a lot of volatility there. It's been as low as 57 cents a couple of years ago. Huh. Yeah. So $2,010 a share. Screaming highs during COVID up to 60 something. Big old drops. So live person stock news quotes. Global technology company that develops conversational commerce and AI software. So they must have had some sort of breakthrough in their AI, huh? I don't see any news. Well, good for them. Hope you got in on that as well. Different line. Trump said no price increase on oil, so they shorted the nuts out of it. Yeah. It's amazing the influence the president can have on the market when he acts like an authoritarian, huh? You better not. It better not go up if you want to know it's good for you, or else we'll throw you into an El Salvador prison. Yeah. I'm not a cat. $1 after hours. Tomorrow looking interesting for LPSN. Yeah. Well, I'm at doing a show at a weird time. Not a huge crowd in here tonight. So I'm out of chats. The chat is empty, monkey. What shall we do? Should we squeeze another fart out of you? Should we just squeeze another one out of there? Huh? Yeah? Another greaser? What do you guys got for me? I got 9 more minutes and no more chats, so here I sit. Sip my water. Well, is it a short show? Just make it a short show today? It's a pretty short show. I'm okay with that. I don't know if I'll get to a show tomorrow. We'll find out. Usually Monkey's Chemo takes about half an hour, and they'll take me about half an hour to an hour. I could probably do a show tomorrow. I'll probably get one in. I'm going to count on it. But Treat for Monkey Butt says, Kenneth Bean. You can do that. Oh. Did that make you excited? You want one of these? Huh? Oh. Oh boy, it's a big one. It's a big one. Get it. Put that in your mouth. Get it. You got to get it, Monkey. You got to get it. Monkey Butt. You got to get it. There you go. Oh, there you go. All right. Nice. I'm running low on the pig's ears. We got, I don't know, 20 of them left? 15 of them left? Bleh8319, the YouTube Say By the Limit charity shows. I have not heard back at all. I was told I'd hear back today, and I did not hear back, so I think I gotta contact them again and be like, what's up? I need an answer. CPA? Like on the way out. Okay, well, I guess I'll end the show today. It's a short show. Thank you for joining me. Tomorrow there'll probably be lots of more news and stuff happening. Oh, good. That's a good crunch. Oh, that's a healthy crunch right there. So, yeah. Hey, Monkey. Cool. All right, you guys have a great day. I will catch you on the flip side. Shaboom.